it's more so just getting back to basics, doing what we do well.
All it takes is one tackle or one run, and then everybody, lifts everybody else.
You're quite right to say that. That's not what I was going to say in that sense.
Welcome to the Pre-Match Pint, brought to you from the home of London Pride, down here at the Fuller's Brewery and Tap Room in Chiswick. Brentford fans, get yourself down here for 10% off, and also you can use the code Pre-Match Pint online to get yourself 10% off there too. Joining me for a Pre-Match Pint this week is Natalie Sawyer and former teammates Karleigh Osbourne and Jonathan Douglas. How are you all? You all right?
Oh, good, thank you.
Well.
Cheers.
Thank you.
You know I love to start with a toast, and this one goes to Thomas Frank, up for Manager of the Month. You're up against Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola and Mike Jackson, of course, from Burnley, all unbeaten that month. Obviously, I'm going, it's got to be Thomas, but Natalie, what do you think Thomas's chances are this month? Because the worry is, Michael Jackson's done a pretty good job going in there at Burnley, hasn't he?
He has done a very good job, a job that probably everyone thought at the time when Sean Dyche was sacked, what were they thinking? And wow, they're playing a very, very different style of football, more offensive, quite exciting to watch. But back onto Thomas Frank. I mean, yeah, it's unlucky actually. He's coming up against Mike Jackson, because I think in any other month he probably would have won it because it's been phenomenal.
4-1 win away at the World
Exactly.
Champions.
But that got it the performance of the week, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll take that. Jonathan, who's your money on there?
It's probably Mike Jackson as well, I think, to be able to turn that club around the way he has. They look doomed. They look, everybody was talking about them being relegated, and then all of a sudden, they've gone on an unbelievable run. And it's not said any other month. I think Thomas Frank, wins it, but I think Mike Jackson is, I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mike Jackson as well. I think what he's done is unbelievable. How he's managed to steady the ship and change things around for Burnley so quickly at this vital time. So I think he'll be the one that will nick it for sure.
I'm going Thomas. Going against all three of you.
Why not?
I'm going to go Thomas. So we're speaking to you guys, 2 days after that trip to Old Trafford. It's Wednesday today. We kind of sat here last week and we said we didn't really know what to expect. We literally had no idea, but we said they're so inconsistent. You could get world-class Man United, or you could get the Man United that struggled at times this year. We got the world-class one, didn't we, Natalie, to be fair? Because we've sat here in the past and we've gone, it's annoying when we've beaten teams and they've gone, oh, we weren't very good.
Yeah.
Instead of going, actually, Brentford were really good.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like we can sit here at the moment and go, talk about our performance. We should put some light on them.
No, absolutely. You're quite right to say that. That's not what I was going to say in that sense. But yeah, you're right. We do have to give them credit because the spotlight was on them in terms of how bad a season it's been for them, and a lot of people actually were thinking that Brentford could get a result at Old Trafford. It was a pretty resounding victory, and they do deserve the plaudits for it because they were the much better side.
Karleigh, look, I'm going to look for positives, and there was definitely one from in the stands. As I thought the travelling Brentford fans were absolutely phenomenal from minute one.
Yeah, they were brilliant, and they have been all season. To be fair, they've tried to make every away ground as homely as they can for the Brentford players. So that's a massive positive. Of course, I think the fans have been great all season, but I echo what Dougie said. I think some of the Brentford players will be a little bit frustrated that they didn't kind of quiet Ronaldo down a little bit more. And I think that also did set the tone for the rest of the Man United players, because someone like Ronaldo, once he gets going and gets the crowd going, it does give everybody else a lift, and I think that's what probably caused Brentford the most problem.
Can I just say, the way we're talking now, it's like, it's weird, because I think this is after our current form and stuff. It's like we're talking about that we like come out of this game gutted and stuff. It's like, it's Man United at the end of the day, and I think it just shows how far we've kind of come as a club. I think that's the big thing, is that we're sitting here a bit gutted about that result, and at the start of the season, well, even historically, it's one game that a lot of teams do not get a result at Old Trafford. But look, we move forward to Southampton, Natalie, and an opportunity against a team not really in the greatest form either at the moment.
I think Southampton are one of the most unpredictable sides in the league. They've lost 6 of their last 9. They, at one stage in late January, early February, looked as though they could actually be a team that might get into the European picture. Their form was that good. And then they've just tailed off. But this is a team that has beaten Arsenal, has taken points off Manchester City and Manchester United, but then has lost to Burnley and to Watford. And it's just, they're so unpredictable that you've no idea what we're going to face when we take on them on Saturday. So all I can hope for is that we get back to playing how we can play and get another 3 points on the board, just to make sure we're really keeping a distance between those behind us.
Well, look, getting on to the game again, I saw Romeo said in the week, after the result against Palace last weekend when they went 1-0 up, they go lose 2-1, that they're just in this kind of, what a lot of teams have in the Premier League, these little streaks where they're struggling a bit, and he said that maybe there's a bit of confidence lacking as well. And what's that like? Because he kind of said it was like on the ball and like when you're looking for passes. I'm going to throw this kind of more towards you, Jonathan, but as a midfielder like him, what is that like when you are going through these runs and maybe you are lacking confidence a little bit?
Yeah, it is horrible because, you know, as a midfielder, that is your main job, is to get on the ball and pass the ball, and hopefully that when you do have it, you have, you know, 3 or 4 options. And if he's seeing stuff like that there, then obviously he doesn't have 3 or 4 options, which as a midfielder is, you know, that's something that you don't want.
Yeah.
I just think, you know, Southampton, you know, that they'll go through spells like this, and they're safe. You know what I mean? They'll probably see themselves safe as well. I know you probably don't say that, but yeah, as you say, as a midfielder, for me, it was just you need to have the team around you that are giving you options. If they're not, then you know you don't want the ball, and then if you don't want the ball, the guy beside you doesn't want the ball, and then it just snowballs, and then all of a sudden it's just like, you know, centre halves are kicking it up the, you know, the centre forwards, and they're getting bullied, and it's just, you know, you're just defending most of the game.
Karleigh, when you've been in squads that have had those kind of patches where it's maybe not been going your way, who are the people in the dressing room? Because I'm looking going, I expect it would have been him going around to you guys. Was that the case?
Yeah, Dougie was a natural leader, to be fair, so it was either in his performance or how he spoke to people within the changing room and how he made people feel. But I think in the time that I spent, I was lucky to play alongside a lot of natural leaders, which helped at times. Ultimately, the best thing a manager can create is a squad that are able to manage themselves off the pitch and on the pitch. And I think Brentford have that. But obviously, the test is it's so new for everyone being in the Premier League and stuff like that. But I think how they've done this season has been fantastic. And I think, you know, they'll be frustrated with the Man United game, but we've seen before when Brentford haven't performed at their best, they've usually bounced back with a much better performance. So I think that will be what Thomas Frank will be trying to instill in them, and I think that's what the players will be doing themselves, and making sure that when they do go out on the pitch against Southampton, that they're ready to play and they put in a much better performance to go and get the points.
The gaffer Hasenhüttl also said that maybe they lacked a bit of energy against Palace last weekend. The easy thing for me to say here is that because we're right at the end of the season and they've played a lot of games. And do you think maybe this Brentford squad, we're seeing that, okay, look, we're not going to talk too much about Monday again, but we normally finish games pretty well, and we seem, I'd say, to be probably one of the fittest in the league. Do you think that's also helped that we had so many games last year in the Championship and it's still a lot of the same players, that we are probably fitter than most teams in this league? Yeah,
you could probably look at that, and then, you know, there's a lot of teams being in Europe, a lot of, you know, boys being away in international duty. They've sort of got those sort of games under their legs as well. But yeah, Brentford do look, and you know, a lot of credit goes down to, you know, the backroom staff. Chris Haslin there, you know, he was different class when I was there. Probably got an extra couple of years out of my career, to be honest. And he's just people like that go unheard of. Really, nobody really knows people behind the scenes, but the amount of work that goes into, you know, getting the players fit in pre-season, making sure they're looked after during the season, when they can get rest up and when they can play and when they don't play. So yeah, and going back to Southampton, it probably is just a long, hard season for them. I don't think they have the biggest squad in the world. And then, you know, lack of confidence as well. We just go back to it there. You know, not everybody can be, you know, great on the ball, you know, every game. But you have to be better off the ball if you're not good on the ball, to make sure you're doing something. And all it takes is one tackle or one run, and then everybody, you know, lifts everybody else. But yeah, going back to Brentford, the fitness levels that they've been showing, you know, over the season has been incredible.
And looking specifically at individuals, there's a very obvious person to pick out. He won 3 awards at the Southampton Awards last night. James Ward-Prowse has been linked silly money moves. Well, people will say it's not silly money, 75 million to Man United. He's obviously broken into the England squad now, and it's a weird one. Natalie, again, as a fan, I'm going, just don't give away any silly fouls.
Yeah.
Is that what we've got to do? I think you were saying how Jesse Marsh had kind of talked about him recently.
Yeah, Jesse Marsh, when they played them, and I think he did score a free kick, he had said it's effectively conceding a penalty. That's how good he is when it comes to those dead ball situations. And yeah, why would you want to give away free kicks? I know sometimes you can't help it, it happens naturally, but sometimes there are silly fouls that you just think you did not need to take that risk, really. And when you know you've got someone who is so good on set pieces like he is, it's a weapon. It's an absolute weapon that he has. His stats are brilliant, isn't it, for what he can do with set pieces. So yeah, like Jesse Marsh said, you're basically giving away a penalty every time you do something like that. And Thomas Frank, everyone at the club will have done their homework. They know that. It's just don't give away silly fouls.
Either of you two been guilty of?
Oh man, you're telling me.
Yeah, definitely.
I could only get there as quickly as possible. Usually it was too slow. So
on the flip side, do you think? And I'm not for 1 second suggesting Southampton would, but will there be teams that, if they have got someone like Ward-Prowse, trying to look for getting themselves in positions where they can buy a free kick on the edge of the area and stuff?
yeah, of course, and there'll be the certain area where they want it. If it's the left-hand side of the box or the right-hand side, you'll see like boys. Even himself will probably go down a little bit easier in around those positions, just knowing that they have somebody like him on dead balls. And as Nat said, it's 9 times out of 10, he usually scores. At least hits the target anyway.
It's a weird one. It's the penultimate home game of the season. 3 years ago. It's been an amazing season, but like we say, still stuff to play for. There is even if it's not safe, there's still stuff to play for.
It's a high finish.
High at the league. How do you think we bounce back from Monday's result, Karleigh, going into this one? What have we got to do?
I think we just get back to basics. Make sure the energy's right. I think we need to start fast. I think when we start fast and we start well, I think we do well for longer periods of the game, just because we put the team on the back foot. So that's going to be massively important. But ultimately, I think it's more so just getting back to basics, doing what we do well, and making sure that we limit Southampton as much as we can.
Excellent. Well, look, I'm going to one last question. Obviously, score predictions.
Oh God.
You should know that I'm going to throw these in.
I know. Never feel prepared for it. What are we going for? Well, I think we'll win this one. I expect both teams probably will score as well, but I'm going to say 3-1 Brentford win. Yeah, why not?
Let's go next.
I'll go 2-1.
Yeah, Brentford. Yeah.
Not think too much into it like Nat does usually. just 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 with Dougie, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go 2-1.
Ganging up. Right, I'll go 3-1 with you.
Thanks,
then,
yeah. I think we could score goals. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's what we think. Let us know in the comments down below what you think. And cheers to Thomas Frank, hopefully manager of the month.
Cheers.